Good morning. It's Eve from MarketWizards.com and eMiniWizard.com, about 20 minutes after 9, 26th of February, 2019, reminding traders to use risk capital you can afford to lose. All right, we're going to take a look at a couple of things pre-market. I've got the last week's chart directly preceding this week so far. And this is one of the reasons, excuse me, why I like this 81, 82 area support overnight. Doesn't mean it has to hold forever, but for now, I think that's an important support. And that's why I posted that last evening. Got some interesting ideas for today. We've got really in formation a Z pattern for now. We haven't quite completed it, obviously, but you know, we've started, we went up, we went solid trade through, and now we've started a bounce, a bear flag. And the bear flag can only be determined in hindsight. You've got to come back down for another leg underneath. And nobody knows whether we're ready for that yet or not. So that's what I'm looking at. And I think key players today, obviously this 81, 82 support directly underneath us. Obviously yesterday's high and the range in between. So where do I think the most logical resistance would be? It's got to be that 2802 that I posted yesterday. Okay, let's use 02 for resistance. And that worked very well for anybody that had a continuation type trade or jumped in overnight or whatever. And now we've had a bounce. So for now, I'm looking at first resistance at this 94.75. Let's call it 95. The longs have to bust that first time back. Usually you're going to get some trouble. And then subsequently, can you get a third time through? So immediate resistance, I'm looking at 95 to 98. That's the key resistance zone aggressively. And then behind that 02. If we bust 02, then more than likely the low is in right now. And I think that'll be hard. I'm not looking for that, immediately out of the gate. Could get some news event or whatever, but I think for now we've got to assume that 02 is our key resistance. And if it breaks, so be it. Nothing you can do about that. 28.12.5, big pivot. And I think still that we're searching for support, and we'll know more by the end of the day. So this chart, very important chart for us today. RTH5. We can see several things here and pay attention to a few gaps that we've got. That's certainly going to be important going forward. Back in that 75 area. So if we break the 80s and get into 70s, that's a key idea. And obviously, we've got above and below. 97 area. So we're going to call this, and you can see on the RTH5 how it appears that this 01, 02 area and 97, that area right there should be resistance first time back. Bumping into overhead resistance from yesterday. And then obviously right now we are messing around at this gap right here. So let's be aware of those locations for now. And traders were trapped yesterday at that 05. Remember we said we had a reversal perhaps there, and Zeke had mentioned, we've taken out IB low, perhaps this is the start of a pullback. Well, he was right. Great post. This is what I've got as our predictive model, and I've actually taken the model and increased it a little bit because it needed to be. I felt it was too tight. So I just doubled up on it. and it puts us much better into perspective. So we're going to look at this chart, and obviously this was a fast down move, especially through here. So don't get confused. If we get a couple of setups and then we go long side, this is all fast, and we can bolt right back through that fairly quickly. I still think we have the right to hit a bounce today, because in the 2-day range, certainly, we've started to make that lower high and lower low, but we have not taken out these lows down here. So I'm just talking about this as a range type trade. And I do believe we can hit a bounce. I'm just not thinking they have to be for a new low. So guarded optimism about your shorts is my feeling. And the flipper here basically is the 0275. Call it 03. So that's our resistance for now. Angels and demons. Got 95. Demon, and I've got 85.25 angel, and it's range trade in between. Tunnel through time. You can see this post right here. These are important lows. They break, then we open the door to come backwards. And I had reset these last couple of days, trying to find what I think is an appropriate channel. And so you can kind of curve fit these. Just note where they start to come close to the edge, and then that'll try to adjust for the current volatility. Here's our yearly chart. And next to it, adjacent to it, is last year's. And we can see that we like to use a full range of a frame, and we can see where this frame into this next box, we've got into the yellow box, and look where this 92 is, this 93, right where we are now. So this, you can go above and below it, and you won't know until hindsight, but we want to be aware that this is a marker for the upside box, and if we lose it and continue coming south side, then 67 is the next key player in this idea. So I still think the goal of the boys is to protect pullbacks, and it doesn't have to be within 10 or 20 points even, but protect pullbacks and try to knock out these highs before we get a substantial pullback. And sometimes we're wrong about it. Sometimes they just say, no, risk and reward, let's keep coming the other way. So you don't know, but I am aware of these highs, and I think you do need to respect them, as we did yesterday. And that's the whole point. You can be a two-way trader. You don't have to be a one-way trader. You can look at this and say, yeah, risk and reward is changing. I like buying pullbacks, but like Zeke said yesterday, maybe this is turning around. So you have the right, like a woman who changes her furniture and her dresses all the time. You have the right as a trader, change your opinion. And I say we need to remain flexible in this neighborhood, because we're certainly close to what I would expect would be an area that other traders are aware of, and the risk reward will start to favor the shorts after all this nonsense. Very fast down right here. We took out this high, and this, in my opinion, is the key on pullbacks. So we're even going to look at that way ahead of time. This break right here. Right there. We took out that high, and then it's held on the pullback, and we've jacked up from there. So that's going to be a retest at some point, just under the 2,700. So we're going to pay attention to this bigger range as a position or swing trader. And for day traders, obviously, we're just taking it one day at a time, trying to scrape a couple of points out of the market the best we can. And for you that play position and swings, then you want to be looking at these type charts. All right, we're getting ready for the open. This is the 30-minute chart that I said I think is in play. We're looking at the rain line as supportive, and we've had tails from there overnight trying to push up. And we can really see, if you're looking at this chart, how this 95 to 97 area is going to be key today. It's clear. To me anyways, right here. These highs, if you cannot get it above that, then the shorts are still in control for short term. And anybody that's conservative at this open, you may stay sidelines and wait for what you think is a better opportunity if you do not like the half gap and gap open. 95.5 is the late close, and 97 we've got as the close at 415. So must be paid 95.5 to 97.5, 98. Anybody that's playing for the gap. Play well, stay disciplined.